said it all tonight. If, like, this Jac body just sat here for 2 hours. Might be more effective than talking, actually. Because it'll bring up, I paid for this! She came and she said nothing! Might actually be a lot more worthwhile. The question is, would you have the tools to deal with it? Would you have the tools to not take it personally? Or would it be like a fine story to, you know, to get the personal eye all revved up? What did you think? And what did you think? And should we do something? Maybe we should complain to Luca. You know, I mean, here we are. Here's the ego coming right up. The ego coming right up. Well, I have an opinion and I have expectations and all about me. This is what the ego does, huh? So there's an allowance that kicks in where, you know, well, what happens, happens. And the surest thing is to have that skill to know that, okay, I can get pissed off, or I can use this to take a chunk out of the ego. And that's your shout in every moment. That's your shout. It takes a bit of wisdom to know the difference. Because sometimes something needs to be addressed. And sometimes it's like, take it on the chin and let it squash when it's going to squash in your ego. You see? Now, it takes some kind of discernment to know the difference. In one who doesn't know the difference, what happens is that, well, the spiritual path is that I'm to say nothing and I'll ride with this and I've no expectations and but, you know, but no, that's fine, that's how it happened and I'm allowing it and I'm accepting it, and that's the spiritual higher ground. If there's a spiritual ego at play, this is the approach that will be taken. If there is an idea that a spiritual behavior is X, Y, Z, this is the path that will be taken. There's nothing as smelly as a spiritual ego. Nothing as smelly as ideals of how to behave spiritually. That's religion. That's not spirituality, that's religion. That's like a code of behavior. Every religion has a code of behavior. That's not what we're at all. The spirituality that is, I don't know, I suppose, weaving its way through Satsang, Western Satsang, which doesn't have any religion in it. Asian Satsang, where it started, of course it was preserved by the Hindu tradition. It has religion woven through it. It has. But now it's in the West, it's like it's shifting to another gear. Don't bring religion into it, huh? Don't bring any religious behavior. Is there a way that one is supposed to behave? Well, I'd like to see that model. Because with the do you want to purchase someplace? Are you? Okay. So with the total abandon of the personal and with the impersonal and the seeing through of it all, there is a kind of a free flow that happens in the natural state. Now, one can justify this for obnoxious behavior, and that stinks too. You see, there's tricks everywhere here, but all you can do is be honest with yourself. So that when there's a natural movement towards something inside you, well then it's just, that's all that's at play and that's allowed. And that happens. Only you can know the difference. Only you can know if you're being spiritually, politically correct, or if you're, you know, bullshitting some kind of self-image and something else is going on, or if there is total no agenda at all and how it's rolling is how it's rolling, and may the consequences play as they do. There will always be a may the consequences play as they do. That will always be there if the natural state is motivating any action. The consequences, you don't even link your action to a consequence. You don't even, that's just an event that's happening. Mind will tell you that's happening because of this. Do you see? Mind does cause and effect. So may things be as they are. May it flow as it does. Life is a setup. Every single thing will show you what you are not. That's all it can do, is show you what you are not. Can't show you how you are, because it's movie material. It's only looking at different versions of yourself. And as long as the physical body is alive, there is a perspective at play. And the perspective is only going to see part, because that's what it does. It just has a subjective vision, because the eyes are in a physical location, because the senses are localized. You know? They're not global. The senses aren't global. Every now and then, yeah, sure, something expands. But there is a localization that happens when the physical body is running. So there's always going to be a perspective at play. If it's taken personally, if it's taken impersonally, that's when suffering happens. Life plays as it does, and the natural state will somehow generate a movement, a participation. Might be greeted well, and it might not be greeted well at all, and so what? So what? It will play as it does, you know? Who's bothered about the consequences anyway? Only the controller. Wanting things to play out a certain way. May it play as it was. It should be as it is. Be sure not to identify with being a doormat or a victim. And, oh no, it's just playing as it does, and I'm fine with it. It's like, whoops. If you're not fine with it, at least be honest and say you're not fine with it. So then at least you can see what's at play. Then you can see what part of the ego wants to be voiced, and let it come out and be vomited, so you can see what's going on. Do you know? What's your option? Just bullshit yourself and play behind your self-image of being spiritual? Whoa. Funny, but that seems to be very popular. It's like we're creating a religion out of spirituality, you know? A way to behave out of it, you know? Mad, isn't it? You know, we're just the one thing that's kind of emerging as you know, a separate culture to religion, and all of a sudden it's kind of becoming its own identity, which of course we turn it into another religious movement of some sort. And if that happens, so what? But know your own position in this. Huh? Know your own position in this. Be honest with yourself. Really honest with yourself. You know, if somebody else has problems with you, well, all you can do is check inside and say, okay, does that resonate? Is this going on? Is there something here? And if there isn't, there isn't. But let it play out either. You know, you don't even have to defend yourself. It's like, all you can do is just check out, you know. Something's ready to be seen or not ready to be seen. You can't do any more than that. You can't do any more than that. Something is ready to be seen when it's ready to be seen. Let that be good enough. But what you are isn't in any way concerned with any of this stuff I'm talking about. You know? This is just movie material I'm talking about. If I'm addressing who you are, well, we'll just sit like this. All we get. And would that be all right? To have nothing phenomenally happening. Would that be all right?